Hello friends, welcome back to the channel Writing Buddha. So today we are going to talk about this book called Only the Good Die Young, written by my one of the favorite authors, Akash Verma. So after Amish Tripathi, I think Akash Verma is the author for whom I am recording my third or fourth book video. So you can understand my love for him and his stories. So this book is basically sequel to a book called You Never Know, which got released last year, and I read it in October when I was rushing to complete my 52 books target, and I liked that story so much that I got in touch with the author and I told him how much I loved, and that is when I got to know that a sequel of that book is going to get published. And it was such a surprise for me because that book is complete in itself, and now when author has written a sequel to it, it is of around 280 pages. Now just imagine, the genre of the book is thriller, and managing to write 280 pages after a already complete book is such a big and heavy task for an Indian author that not many go and attempt it. So Akash Verma doing that, and even after that writing such a powerful book. And I'm going to tell you my rating about this book in the end of this video. You will realize what kind of a beautiful book he has written. So starting with, I would say that he takes his main three characters from the last book ahead in this book also: Anuradha, Dhruv and Sid. So now Sid is back to take revenge. Anuradha is anxious about what would happen with her, and Dhruv is now worried that his life, which is trying to get normal, might again suffer because of all of this. And he talks about all of these characters in the first Oasis itself, like he does in the first book also. So this gives us 360-degree perspective of the story. Along with that, he also speaks in third voice whenever required, so we get to understand even what the characters are thinking and what is happening with all three of them simultaneously from the third voice perspective. Now you would be able to relate with all the three characters. You would be able to understand what they are going through, because now you know that all three of them have a past, because you have already read the first part of the book. And now knowing about how they are going to deal with it, how they are going to fight with, how they are going to get themselves mentally ready for their future, is what makes you excited towards reading this book and while reading this book throughout. There are also supportive characters such as Aman, Ash, Anna, Ram, Shalini, etc., and there are many more. And the way author manages to make us understand all of his characters, even the main three characters, and all the supporting characters also, helps you to understand the story or what each one of them is thinking. And let me tell you that all the characters, even the supportive characters, have such a major part to play in the story that without them this second book would not have been possible in this series. So I will particularly tell you about a scene. There is a party scene where all these characters are sitting, the main characters, the supporting characters, and they are playing this game of truth and dare. That part is written so so dynamically and so very transparently that you would be able to understand all the characters and their feelings, what they approach about life, what they are seeing ahead, how they are feeling currently, whom they are attracted towards, and what they might do next. So you would also be thinking that whom among all of this would turn out to be another villain after Sid. But this way the story has been written, you would feel that all these characters are somewhere your friends or your colleagues, or you have seen somewhere. So that is very beautiful character formation that I would say not many authors are able to manage that, basically when they are writing it with multiple character story. Next, I would say that writing a thriller is a very big art when it comes to writing a literature, writing a book, writing a novel, because you have two choices. Either you can write the whole story in the fifth gear, the way Ravi Subramaniam writes, where there is a twist and turn in almost every second or third page and you just can't sit silently. There is an adrenaline rush almost every time. But there is another choice also, which not many writers pick it up, which is keeping your story in a fourth gear and shifting it accordingly by bringing in situations and circumstances in your character's life. Akash Verma has chosen this style and done so wonderfully that every time you feel that okay, so something might happen, it actually happens, and happens in a way that you would not have imagined that it would happen so and so. So that is a very nice approach that he has picked up to write this novel, and because of that I'm now very much excited for Akash to write many thriller books now, not only romantic or the other stuff that he generally writes about. Along with all of this, managing this book is very hard, because as I told, it is a thriller book. It also somewhere has a romance involved in it. Along with all of this, it has many subplots which discusses many aspects, such as office politics, family lives, multiple affairs, new crushes, old reunions, marketing meetings, the professional aspect of it, everything. So this book has, you know, many elements into it. It is like a very good web series which is made in only 8 to 10 episodes, but it has almost all the crux that you want to watch in a web series. So you don't get missed out of anything. यार इसके अंदर ऑफिस वाला सीन नहीं था, नो वो भी है, इसके अंदर लव स्टोरी नहीं था, वो भी है, इसके अंदर थ्रिलर नहीं था, वो भी है, सस्पेंस नहीं था, वो भी है. So this book consists almost all the factors. So I would say that if you pick this book, the quota of your month would get over, and you would not have to purchase any other book to read any other genre specifically. Now author convinces us very beautifully with the technology that he gives his killer to fight with his people he want to fight against. So this is a Hollywood type of technology, and it could have been a cliche if it would not have been handled very nicely, but author manages to do that, and I want to salute him for that, because when that part came, I thought that now author might write something that would not relate with me, or I would find it very much unbelievable or unconvincing, but that was not the case here. Going future, I would say that in the pre-climax and climax, author brings the thriller as well as the romantic part both together, and now comes a condition where you start feeling bad for the characters, because now they are fighting for their lives and they are fighting to be with each other, to help each other, but the person is not making them do that, and that is a very bad situation in the book, because now if a human is given 100 things, and if one among them has a factor of love or romance, you would start fighting out for that, you would support it, you would be behind that. So that is what happens when you read a book for 250 pages and it has only thriller aspect, but as soon as you come in pre-climax and climax and understand that now the romance is somewhere taking it on the level of the thriller aspect of the book, you start fighting for it, you start cheering for it, you want your characters to get together, the love to bloom, the romance to stay, and that is what makes pre-climax and climax a very high level stuff, and you would just love reading it. And it was very painful to read the whole section. I would not feel shy in saying that I also ended up crying a little. And yeah, last point that I would like to say, that whenever there is a societal taboo or something that is being considered as a sin, so writing about that, and that too from little bit of taking a positive side to it, becomes very risky for the author. Here author supports extramarital affairs. Now when you talk about extramarital affairs in the real life, almost everyone would say that it is not right, it is not a good thing, and it is bad to do, it is wrong to do. But the way author manages it in this book is done so very beautifully. Even when he's taking a positive side, he's somewhere supporting it a little bit, and you will realize why he does that only when you read the book. When you will understand the characters of Dhruv and Anuradha, only then you will understand that why it was very necessary for both of them to be together, in spite of one of them being committed in a long-term relationship with his wife or her husband. And I would want you to be very attentive while reading this, because you will understand the insights about what author wanted to say, and it is little deep in terms of that, and I really liked it, because it is not very easy to support something like that in a book which would be read by people from many age group, and some might just be against about your thought process why you are supporting something like that. So kudos to author Akash Verma once again for this. Now I would say that this book is written very independently. So when I say that, it means even if you will not read the first part of the book, you never know, you will still be able to understand and grasp this story. And this is very necessary whenever you write the second part of any book. Either you write a good recap, or you write it in such a manner that even if someone had not read the first book, he can still go and directly read the second book and enjoy it as much as he did as much as he would have done if he had read the first part also. So this book has been managed that way, and I just liked it. Now talking about the drawbacks, I know there aren't any, but I have to find out something, because people say that you are a book reviewer, you have to say something about negative perspective also. So I only found one, that regarding Sid. Sid is one of the most important characters in this book. He is basically a villain, and he is kind of a psycho who has come back to take a revenge, and he has to take it any which ways. So now we want to understand how these kind of characters think, what they think like, why are they the way they are. but unfortunately author does not give much time to Sid. He just wants us to understand Anuradha, Dhruv, their perspective and how they are scared from Sid, but we don't get to know much side of Sid. That is something I missed, and I wished if that would have also been done, this book would have been perfect. So yeah, how much rating I would be giving this book? As I said in the starting, I give it 4.75 stars out of 5. So let me tell you, in a long time I have not given any book 4.75 stars, and I am finally giving a book that, so you can understand how good this must be. So yeah, if you want to read this book, just go and start reading it, because I don't think that anyone should delay for reading a book like this. And if you like this video, please do like and share it, and please subscribe the channel if you have still not done. Thanks a lot.